Episode 2 of The English Teacher begins with Evan hurrying to work late again. He is stopped by a bunch of lads who are participating in Powder Puff, an event when the girls play football and the boys dress up as cheerleaders. Despite his doubts, he agrees to speak with Mark about it. On the pitch, Gwen is irritated when Mark has the girls play football instead of tackling each other. All of the girls tell Mark about the significance of allowing women to attack, and how they rarely feel safe in the outside world. They even suggested that he listen to a true crime podcast. Principal Grant isn't pleased with the drag queen, and informs Evan that he cannot bring a stranger into the school. He also sends Evan a list of appropriate Powder Puff gear that the males must wear during the performance. However, when Evan presents the list to the students and realizes how much they want to do drag, he tears it up.
Later, Evan walks to the pitch to see Gwen helping Mark teach the female football team because they wanted a female coach. Evan inquires about the cheerleading fiasco, but Mark refers him to Principal Grant. Grant throws a curveball, revealing that the LGBTQIA+ Alliance is protesting Powder Puff. Evan chats with students who think the football players are gender switching as a joke. They want the footballers to treat it authentically. Evan's answer to the situation is to bring Keith, an old acquaintance who is a drag queen. He wants Shazam, Keith's drag queen moniker, to inspire the boys to perform true drag. The boys agree that Shazam will be their coach.
After listening to the podcast, Mark recognizes the importance of women's protection and teaches the girls self-defense rather than football. So the boys don breastplates and heels and learn to dance, while the girls practice various techniques to defend themselves against attacks. Later, while Keith is packing up, Evan learns he has been stealing from the school. As a result, Grant's reservations about inviting a stranger inside are validated. Evan takes out the school printers, but Keith drives away. Keith had a history of stealing, so Grant cancels the Powder Puff performance because he is concerned about Superintendent Boone being present and someone being fired. As a result of the incident, later that night, Evan visits Gwen and discusses the entire issue. Nick is currently rebuilding their house pool so that they may rent it to strangers through an app called Swimply. As football game day approaches, Harry joins Evan in the stands. Superintendent Boone is greeted by Grant. The boys join the pitch in full drag just as the match concludes, and Evan is about to depart. They thank Coach Marquez and finish their act to loud cheers from the audience. They even bring Evan in to perform the death drop. Grant apologizes to Superintendent Boone, but he finds the entire situation amusing, and no one's employment is at stake. Keith is also in the crowd, proud of the youngsters, although he leaves with a few more purses than he had at the end of English Teacher episode. The new English Teacher episode 2 builds on the first episode's positive spirit, delving further into gender issues while ramping up the shenanigans. When portraying the young high school students, the show takes a highly compassionate approach. It's excellent that there was no right or wrong answer, but that both the footballers and the LGBTQIA students were treated equally. Keith's character, in such a short period, added nuance to the plot while avoiding caricatures. There's a lot of back and forth between characters, and the language is quick, smart, and sharp. However, they have been created with regard for people, identities, beliefs, and so on. And Evan continues to be a great character whose desire drives many of these events. English Teacher is a dynamic new sitcom, and hopefully the subsequent episodes will maintain the same level of humor and subject matter.